What is up? Paul Wog here again for another 1 hour session. Last grade we got was a 7.4, and the AI told me that I was pretty bad at exploitative play. That is the third or fourth time that they're telling me that I'm that bad. So I decided to address that issue, and I started asking AI exploits on 20 no limit hold'em cash games, and I got a couple, and it's been going pretty well since I got these exploits. Yes, the math counting, the combinatorics is really important, and I'm continuing to work on that, but just easy decision making versus specific player types reduces the cognitive load. And then it makes it just way easier when you do have a really tough spot against a good player to really think through all the combos. So AI, Gemini, told me a couple. I asked specifically what are the exploits on a 20 no limit hold'em game overall. And Gemini said introduce the light 4-bet pre-flop. People overfold to 4 bets, so we started doing that, and that actually helped. And that really puts pressure on anyone that's trying to get too aggressive. They start getting aggressive, and we give them light 4 bets. They got to fold, and they fold often, and they're losing EV there, and we're gaining EV. Number 2 is respect, turn, and river aggression. The population is not bluffing as often as they're not balanced. They are really highly erred towards value, so just don't assume they're bluffing. Don't try to bluff catch at the same rate. What else is aggressively steal blinds? That's an EV positive play because there are a lot of nits that don't defend frequently enough. I wrote a couple of these things down. Let's see. I got on the top of my mind, I got the light 4-bet, steal blinds, respect turn. Oh yeah, and then the one that might make the difference overall is to print EV with a turn or a flop float against the tag fish. So the good players, which after looking at these exploits, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of a tag fish. So I don't want to be that. Now that I'm aware, I'm not going to be that. But someone that bets a flop c-bets frequently because they know they're supposed to c-bet, and then they check most turns, and then you can fire a bluff against them, and there's a lot of EV to be had if they fold at X frequency and their flop bet is X size. So I've been working on that. But let's get started on the basic gameplay. So I'm playing 2 boards now because I've been playing a little bit better. And let's just get started. We are in the small blind with queen 3 offsuit. The action is a middle position raise. We would be defending about 10%, raising all 10% of hands, which is roughly 130 combos. In this hand, we specifically will fold. I've already classified Mr. Tort IV as a loose passive calling station, and I have made a lot more money on the loose passive calling station exploit, which specifically is radical bet sizing. You bet huge, they'll just keep calling it. Widen value range, so you can bet medium top pairs and stuff for value. Maybe small, they'll call down. And then 0 bluff percentage. Just simplify the math. Just do not bluff them ever. Just, it's boring. Accept the boredom. And I did that for the last couple of days, and it's been working. So that's Tort IV. I'm gonna get a WSOP game going here if this game is about to die. I want to have 2. All right. So big blind, 3 ways, button, 450 or 550 hands, 42%. King queen off is obvious raise. They fold around. We scoop a blind. So let's add window capture. There it is. So we're going to fold that, even though maybe we could play it, but we're just getting set up. We'll minimize all these. How are we going to do this? Yeah, we'll just do it like that. We'll reduce this one a little bit. And there we go. Okay. 3 screens going. We are playing the WSOP board. This is both Club GG and WSOP, both 20 NL. Once button A6 offsuit, going to be part of that 140, or that part of that 550, 42%. We raise. There's a bomb pot on this board. I'm not going to get into that. It's a fold. Queen 5 offsuit, not part of the 550. We're not going to raise that. So lethal AF. We're going to introduce this light 4-bet. Is he going to rip it, or is he going to fold? All right, he rips it. All right, that time it didn't work. It's worked many times. I've been doing that, and it's working. I wonder exactly what the frequency it has to work, but it works 3 or 4 times out of 4 or 5. 75% to 80%, I would say it works, or at least so far. 3 days of data. Lethal AF seems to be aggressive. We're going to label him solid tag for now. So we're going to make exploits as we go. And the player types can absolutely change over time. Observations are important. Button with King 10. Down here, that's a definite raise. Now, if the all right, King 10, 8, 9, 9. So he donks in here, 3/4. We gotta have enough equity to continue. 3/4 pot bet, 43%, or 43% would be their break-even percentage. We would need 30% equity. I don't think we have to use it there. We might classify this guy as like kind of donkey aggressive. At this point, we'll see. All right, here we have ace jack, offsuit raise and like 4 callers. I don't know if there's, we could bet small, but it's a flush draw there. We're not gonna tango with that. I think there's some looseness going on, so we're gonna exploit that by tightening up. Not doing combinatorics right now, but we will. We'll do a little bit. On the gun, Queen 4 offsuit, that's a fold. On the gun, Queen 8 offsuit, that's a fold. I am listening to some synthwave music right now, just vibing. I don't know if it's gonna be on your video. So if it sounds like looks like I'm bopping, it's because of that. It's focus music. Okay, button. We have pocket sixes. We're gonna raise here 3 ways to the flop. Zenobar, I don't know them. We've played against them before. Jack 10-2. They're probably calling any 2 cards. And they start donking. So we're going to have to exploit that donk a little bit and put pressure on them using this as a bluff. Donks tend to be relatively weak. And we're going to create a pot size bet if SPR is on the river. And we got a fold there. So generally the weak donk is out of position, is just money to exploit. It tends to be weak. They didn't have a 10. They might have actually had a jack, but I used that ace to my advantage, used the 10 to my advantage, and just ripped 6s as a bluff. That was an attempt at exploiting a weak donk. That could have backfired. Not a place I wanted to be in, but I had to run it anyway. Here in the bomb pot, we have ace of diamonds on a diamond board. Let's see if it checks around. We're out of position. I hate playing out of position on these bomb pots. Even with the ace high flush draw, now we only have 9 outs, would be about 18% on the river. I'm playing it really passively. He bets 2/3 pot. We have 18% roughly. Also, we have a 9. So we have 18 plus 3 more, or 9, 12, 24%. Implied odds, I don't think they really justify this call. So even with the ace high flush, and then into a shove, like there's 2 pairs, there's people behind me to act. Bomb pots, unfortunately, out of position is no good. And I would have hit an ace. I don't know if that would have been good at all. But limit the damage there. If we turned lucky, we would have gotten some pay. We could have donked it, but I don't know. A lot of people check strong hands even. King 10 suited in the button. So this person has 13 big blinds. We're going to just smooth call because there's short stack here. I would have otherwise 3-bet them. So now, okay. I don't like this spot. I don't know if we can be raised, but I knew that money was going to go in. We'll fold. We're going to respect Love's bet, and we'll respect their. Because this is 20 no limit, generally you got to respect. Okay, here we have a 9 on a board that they're probably c-betting frequently. Okay, respect the turn aggression. Don't know who this is, but we'll respect it for now. Ace queen, we would have gotten in bad. See, we respected, we folded, saved some money. King 9 suited on the button down here. I say down here, I mean over here. Let's set these up so they're the same to me as they are to you. So we don't have anything calculated on par sib. Zenobar, probably going to raise. We can probably 3-bet the raise with an 8-7. I don't know the blind ranges. All right, they just fold. 5-4. We can maybe steal a blind here against someone that we don't know yet. There's a limp before me. Getting aggressive, stealing blind. All right, we have pocket kings over here. Does it show pocket kings? I'm raising it. Is it not showing my hand? Oh, shoot. Pocket Kings 7-3-2 board. We're gonna check raise this one. Oh, I got lost with the kings. All right, so right now we have the nuts. We're just gonna slow play it. And we got a fold over here. Didn't even think, just because. Betting big. We're gonna raise him. Might be too aggressive. We'll call. No spade. All right, that's fine. Check it back to him. He might rip another bluff. Slow play. I don't like to slow play, especially against calling stations, and now we're gonna rip it in their face. So we have the stone cold nuts. And they're gonna have to fold. I don't think they had value. King, queen, offsuit in the under the gun over here. They folded. I don't know if you guys can see this. You can see the... Shoot. Let's... try again. This is... No. We were playing the... I think this one. Oh no. It's stuck. Alright. We'll play these two. Oh, 4-2 on. Just moving all this shit around. Zenobar gonna... I don't try and steal this. We have a 10 here. He had it. Okay. Respect the aggression. Oh, you guys don't see it. So this guy is way too aggressive. And we're gonna rip it in their face. Ugh. That was a mistake. My top pair. Alright, we'll learn from that. Oh my gosh. I got lucky. Yeah. Alright, let's play this other hand. Check raise this. If they bet it, we're going to check raise it. We block their Jack 10. And we get the fold. And we would have turned the straight. I mean, did we lose more? Probably, but we had a gut shot, so didn't love taking it down. Didn't love not taking it down. Oh, I think I know how to do this now. There we go. I remember. All right. So we got this. We're live. We've gone live. Whoa. There's a good time to go live against our amigo that actually we're going to bet it for value. Zenobar is getting mad at us because we we're going to bet big. All the draws come. And I think Zenobar is tilted up, but they decide to fold. We're going to raise this. No, there was a 10. Okay. Not super well thought, but okay. I guess so. Yeah. Sorry, this is not my best performance here, managing 3 screens at once. But now we're settled. Okay. It only took me 20 minutes. All right, let's get in the zone here. We have doubled our stacks in the 2 Club GG. We are half stack in the 1 WSOP. We got lucky on 1 all in where we had top pair and they had an overpair. You guys didn't see it. Small blind against an early position raise. You can actually call set mining here. And we're not going to get a set and we're not going to get a spade. I think it's okay to give up on an ace-2-5 board. There are 9 possible set combos. There are 6 possible ace-x 2 pair combos. There are, I want to say, roughly 40 flush draws on that. Okay. Button 4-2 off. We're going to fold. Ace-7. We're going to fold there because we've been a little saucy with Zenobar. So my table image is as if I am loose aggressive. And I don't think 3-betting too light right now is going to be good for me. So I have this purple as someone that is like, the purple means will donk, will call, but also respect. So it's like, what did I type down? Aggro when checked to. I have crazy lag, calling station, aggro, nit. I'll just put that as good aggro. Respect. Okay, ace-10 offsuit in the late position. That is one of our roughly 25% of hands raises. We get a call from the big blind. Here we have a small donk bet here on the bomb pot in position. In position is very good on the bomb pot. We can turn 2. I'm going to get out of the bomb pot. Don't love it. All right, we have ace-10, and the board is ace-jack. We're going to bet moderate for value. Hopefully get a fold. We could get some value. So we get folds there. Seven, 6 suited, middle position. 25, or middle position about 17%. This is slightly loose. Actually, the suited connectors probably caused me a lot of trouble in the past. Widening my range is okay if I know I'm not going to get 3-bet, and we got some stationy peoples. I get a good flop with an open ender and a king, which is going to be good for me to bet and for them to fold. And if I do hit, I have plenty of equity on my outs. I have 8 outs, roughly 32%. That is not one of them, but that's not great for this player. He is an SPR of 1-to-1. Let's go small here. However, and then the small little bet worked because if he didn't have a king, he was going to fold. And I was preparing for river jam. I did put myself at risk of being check raised, but I haven't seen that too frequently on these 20 NL, so I think that was an okay spot, specifically with an SPR of 1-to-1. Okay, so let's run through some ranges. All right, button raise is 42%, 550 combos. Late position is 350 combos, 25%. Middle position about 17%, 226 combos. Early position about 14%, 184 combos. That's just raise first in. Big blind versus a button raise, you play roughly 34.5% of hands, which is 450 combos. You're going to be raising 10% of those hands, which is 130 combos. Mostly just the... Okay, so here we are. We're in the button against an early position raise. We'll be playing, let's think about it, 17% of combos. This would be a call. So we're going to probably check fold this down. This is ace-5 against middle position raise. That's going to be a fold when we play 17% of combos. So, yeah. Raising 10% against the button. If they're playing GTO ranges, they're not always. They're mostly not, actually. Against a late position raiser, I'm going to be playing 24%. I think is about 330 combos. We'll be raising, I think, 8% of hands. It's about 112 combos. Broadway suited, clear high value. And then GTO likes to choose like Jack 8, Jack 9, Queen 8, Queen 9 suited as like bluffs, but mostly linear. 8%. Against a middle position, we're playing 20% of hands, which is about 270. I'm not reading this off the top of my head. 270 combos. I think we're raising 5%. I could be wrong. Roughly 5%. Which I think is about 72 combos. And then against early position, 17% of hands. And of those, I think we're raising roughly 3%. 3%. 36-ish combos. 34-ish combos. All right, so that's big blind. Okay. 7-5 offsuit. Against a middle position raise. Like I said, 20% of combos. 270. Is this one of our raising or calling? That is not. We don't have an exploit against this green guy right now. He's been playing solid. So we played with King Bob yesterday, and we will find exploits. I think if I play one table, I can find exploits easier. If I play multiple, it's a little bit harder. Okay. Small blind versus raises. Exactly, since we're in the small blind. We got a little, I don't know what sneaky limp. We're going to really go off script here and play a passive small blind, looking for just a great flop. That's an okay flop. But we're not going to play aggressively for anything but the nuts. Hopefully we turn a jack. Now we turn a 8, so we got trips, and we block the jack queen, so I'm going to go ahead and bet this. Okay. Small pot. Nothing special. Okay, small blind against button raise. Play about 15% of hands, which is almost exactly 200 combos, if not exactly 200 combos. Small blind versus a late position raise, about 10% of combos. which is 130. Small blind versus early position and middle position. I kind of combined those, 9.5% of hands, and you are, ooh, we can flop 2 pair over here on a bomb pot. Top 2 with the nut flush draw, and I mean, it gets in. You know, it really stinks if someone has like a set here, but even if a flush comes, like, we're still chilling. I mean, I have too much here, top 2 with the nut flush draw. I don't know if anyone's going to be like playing this aggressively, so yeah, everyone folds. I don't like to slow play, even in position. It's just, what, someone's going to randomly hit a set on you or a gut shot, you just bet it. And people put, the exploit is that people put their money in bad when you do bet it. King Jack offsuit, middle position against the limp. We're going to raise that a little bit loose. That would be part of roughly 21%, and I said I was playing 17%, so a little loose. King 5-5. I'm not at risk of being outdrawn, really, so I'm just going to check it and bluff catch. And he's going to, and then I'm going to, am I okay trying to go for value here? I don't think I'm going to get called by anything, but yeah, there's no point of betting, because he wasn't going to call unless he had a 5. Ace-4 suited on the button. This is part of raising range. Are we able to see all the hands now? Yes, we are indeed. So we're going to raise that one. Okay, small blind would be 3-betting 15% there. 9.5% small blind bet against, or play against early position. I think it's like 2% of that you're or you're calling. It's like 7s, 8s, 9s, maybe ace 9, and ace queen off, and then raising linear the rest. So that's what the big blind and the small blind do against specific raises. What does the button do against specific raises? I kind of memorized a 16-12 against a late position raise. You're playing 16% of hands. You are raising, I think, 6.5% of hands, and you're calling 9.5% of hands. 6.5% of hands is, that's 84-ish. 9.5% is going to be 120-ish. Against a middle and early position, we're playing 16, 12, 12% of hands. You are raising, I think it's 7.5 and 4.5, raising 4.5%, which I got at 60 combos. Polarized, you go polar when you're in position, linear when you're out of position. We checked, there's a limped pot, queen 8-6. Now we got 2 queens. Effective nuts. Min bet. I don't know if anyone's going to mess around with me. Are there any draws here? No. Oh. No draws. Limped pot. How many people have, how many ace queens are there? I mean, okay, so huge overbets here. Is there EV in raising here? I think we're going to raise it to 3. I mean, set of 6s is going to rip it. Okay. And so there were, what, 3 combos of 6s? 3 combos of 8s probably would have been raised by him. So there's just, fundamentally, there's nothing he could have had. Because I had the queen. Okay, small blind, 6-5 offsuit. I used to be 3-betting this like crazy and losing money on that. And now, after reviewing all my Church. I'm not doing that. It makes it easy. You get in so many tough spots in the small blind. Okay, so we had the 16, 12. 12%, 4.5, you're raising, and 7.5, you're calling. Polarized. Suited broadways. All right. 7-6 on the button. Okay, we're not going to. I was going to say you could steal. King 4 hearts, come on. All right, so this is King 4 hearts on the button on a Jack 6 board. 2 hearts. You know, what are the odds any given person has a jack? If they don't have a jack, they're not going to be playing it. So, I don't know, it's probably 50% of the time. Oh, gosh. So, there's a raise and a re-raise. So, we got to assume one of them actually has a jack or a heart draw. And a lot of people will overplay this, and I'm just going to, these are 2 tags, I'm just going to let them get at it, because at best I'm drawing, which will eventually be for my whole stack, implied, like, you know, and at best I'm drawing. All right, here we go. We're going to have a draw and we're going to have a jack. All right, we have 2 jacks. So 2 people had jacks. So we were drawing, but we were not drawing very good. So we weren't even drawing to 8. We were drawing to like 6 outs, so 24%. We would have hit one of them. We would hit one of them if we played 2 boards, but we didn't. And so that, you know, save a stack there. Don't overplay those draws. King, queen, suited, late position. There is an under the gun raise before me. Late position would be raising. Oof. I think we're gonna flat here and hope to flop well. Now everybody's flattened. We just need some spades then. Okay, this is probably like a light. All right, we're gonna actually play this one. He's trying to steal. We'll see. Queen. All right, so we're sitting pretty good. We had 2 overcards, and he's gonna probably rip it and grip it. I mean, we're gonna play this one all the way in. He's pretty tight, which means he's probably a pretty good player. Show me a king. Oh, now we have a flush draw to boot. The only bad card is an ace right now. Should I slow play this one? Because a king would give me 2 pair. Oh, gosh. Let him rip it. Stealing is not always... Oh, I would hit another queen. Yeah. Maybe he would have ripped it. Stealing works frequently, but only because I was legitimately calling with the correct hand that I could defend against an attempted steal. And the population doesn't know how to do that, and so I correctly assumed he was stealing and then got lucky because I had 2 high cards and hit one of them. Even ace king, even if I hit a king. Not super happy, but pretty good in position. All right, we got ace 2 suited on the button with 2 callers, ace queen 6. This one, we're going to just like bluff catch kind of. Defend our check range. And lethal's been pretty solid, so okay, yeah. Is he going to try and steal it with a big bluff? He might. I'm going to call him. Down here we have ace king suited. We're going to raise against a limp. If he goes huge, we might have to fold. Yeah, I mean, but he's good, so it's understood that he's good, and I anticipated that huge bet, and we're going to call it. I mean, really have a 6? What does he have? Yeah. Obvious. Okay, and that's I guess an exploit. I wouldn't do that with most players, but you know, check check, huge bet. Suspicious. Ace king, we don't flop shit. There's 3 people that want that pot. I have to give up. And that's why you protect your checking range, because people will try stuff like that. And if he was a nit, I wouldn't do that. And if he also was a crazy player, he might really have a 6 right there. No, probably not. I don't know. I can count all the combinations he has in his hand, and how many of them include a 6. A very small percentage of them. If he's defending appropriately with 34%, 550, how many of them have a 6? You're playing 6x suited and better generally. So you do have quite a few 6s. But as a total percentage, you have, and then 2 6s are out there. 1 combo of quads. And then what? Exactly 10 more combos of flush hands. 10 more combos. What? 13? 12? Oh no, 24. Because there's 2 hands out there. 24 plus 125 out of his 550 hands. All right, raise ace jack offsuit, kind of pushing our range from under the gun. Nasty nuts has been good. Green, we'll respect what they do generally. And so we'll check defend this. Yeah, I think we can check raise this one actually. Check raise. Very linear. Okay. So we're going to overbet him now. And he might think I'm bluffing. Oh, 190. And then no good draw equity. Yeah, okay. So he just gave up. Get the flushes out of there. All right. Well, I was hoping if he had a random jack, I might get value. Ace queen offsuit under the gun, raise. 2-4 suited. Is that defendable? Only against the butt. But there is implied odds there. Maybe if I want to get slightly wide. Okay. Ace queen here. All right, we get 1 caller. We have plenty of implied odds if we drill a really low board, which we didn't, but we hit a 2, so maybe it checks through and we hit another 2. We're going to play this extremely passively and maybe get lucky. Jack 9 8, tough board. Because that drills. I mean, I have the queen. There's a lot of sets in here. A lot of 10s in there. Ooh, we got a flush draw over here. Is defending. Oh, gosh, we're about to be squeezed here. All right. This guy bets really tiny. What, like 1/5 pot? We need 17% equity. Give me a jack. Easy call. Oh, so we got a 3. We're drawing okay here. We got someone behind us. And then we get the flush. Gosh, this is why you don't like playing. If he bets huge, I fold. This is why you don't play flushes. Well, if he bet huge, if he didn't bet huge, The person behind us might. Okay, so we missed out on some value, but 4 high flush is not loving life there. It's that's why you don't get in multi-way pots. Be prepared to fold unless you have the nuts. You can lose a lot of limped pots with that, and I have lost a lot of limp pots with that. So if there's a leak multi-way, it's absolutely that. I'm about to sneeze. Bless me. You're welcome. Thank you. Achoo. There's a YouTube video of the football player being interviewed. He sneezes and then blesses himself and then thanks himself. It's quite funny. We got 15 more minutes on our standard video. Let's do some random equity calculations just to impress the AI. Against a 100% pot bet, you need 33% equity. Against a 75% pot bet, you need 30% equity. 66% pot bet, you need 20. What did I say? 66, 28. Half pot bet, you need 25% equity. Third pot bet, you need 20% equity. Quarter pot bet, you need 17% equity. And fifth pot bet, you need 14% equity. Going up, you got 125% pot, you need 36%. 150% pot, 38%. 200% pot, 400. 200% pot, you need 40, and 300% pot, 43% equity. That's just the raw equity you need to continue with pot odds, and then you can adjust that based off of what you think implied odds are. That will be to come. I also did start to memorize SPR and what size pot bet you need on the next street. So, for example, starting from if the SPR is exactly 4-1, you can take a pot bet at that point, and then the next street would be a pot shove. If it's 3-1, it's I think it's 2/3 pot. If it's 2.5 to 1 SPR, then you can use a half pot bet, and then the next street will be a shove. If it is 1/3 pot, or if it's 2-1 SPR, you use 1/3 pot bet. And I used that earlier, and I got someone to fold when the SPR was 1-1, and it was still good for me. So let's see. Maybe this 6 somehow, by the grace of God, holds up. No, there's a 7 and a 9. Oh, he crushed it. He didn't want to bet at all. Oh, river 7. You just let someone bet, he catches. Okay. 7-1 SPR, you do a 200% pot bet. At that time, we'll set up a river shove. So if you want to bloat the pot very quickly, we don't know who Big House is. He's been sitting for 17 minutes. We get 3-bet from the small blind. Defending against the 3-bet small blind is rather tight, so we're just going to fold that. We don't want to get into any bad spots with a king or a jack, pair of a king or a pair of a jack. Nine, 10, 9, 5, middle pair, limped pot. I'm gonna play it passively. The queen could have hit anybody. Anyone wants to steal it, they can steal it. Yeah, Big House is gonna steal it, but I'm trusting him for now. I believe him. And 10 and the queen are both. We got Jack 3 off. Okay, so that was SPR setting up a pot size bet on the next street. I think. Well, 4-1 is a pot size bet right now. We'll create a pot size. 5-1 is, I think, a pot and 1/3. I'm going to have AI actually address these calculations specifically. Okay, so we got that down. I did work on float decisions, because if I'm going to make a lot of EV at the stakes with floating, if you're in position and they bet 1/3 pot, so you're going to want to, AI says, and I agree, you will float against small bets. C-bet stabs. You float And if they're 33% pot, and your next bet works roughly 50% of the time, I think you're positive EV. So and whatever the size it is, you're gonna have to size up. But if it works more than 50% of the time, assuming they don't check raise, I think that makes it positive EV. Because 75, if they fold 75% of the time against then it's positive EV. The exact calculation, I don't have it in my brain. I'm not doing the math. Shit's been memorized. All right, we're gonna bump this up. We're gonna bump it up to, damn it, there, 180. Specific exploits against a calling station. I had like 04 Zenobar. She's gonna donk. They donk. They always donk. Oh, she's been donking a lot. Why did I say she's Zeno Warrior Princess? We're gonna check it back. See what develops. Ooh, that's good for me. Yeah. Okay. She's sneaky. All right. All right. I mean, definitely. Okay, very sneaky. That bet works there most of the time. Maybe not against Zenobar. And especially if she's trappy. We're going to label her trappy on low boards. She might be over bluffing. But in the future, we'll be prepared for that trappy. I think Zenobar. She has been tough to play against. Very trappy. And they trapped with queens. Oh, okay. That's the next thing I'm going to ask AI after this session. How do you exploit trappy players? So, actually, I think we have an exploit here. Zenobar traps with, and is just like a slow player. Check raises with value hands because they did that with pocket queens, and then donks when they miss. Donks weak value marginal. So, does that allow us? We're gonna do specifically. We're gonna analyze, ask AI what they think about this. Weak donk, very trappy. Okay, we're in a hand with Zenobar. And we're gonna Zenobar thinks they're gonna check raise here. And they're gonna fold there. They thought better of it. I was gonna turn the 2 and I was gonna blast off. Zenobar, you're good. I respect you. Not straightforward. Ace queen off or suited against a blind limper. Five-ish minutes left. Exploit against calling stations. Radical bet sizing. Huge bets they'll call. Wide in the value range. Top pair, random kicker is probably okay. They'll call. Even middle pair. 0 bluff percentage. Not even semi-bluffs. Just bet value. It's boring, but it'll work. Simplify the math. Don't overthink. Just bet big. Bet with value. No bluff. Nits, you steal big blinds and overfold to aggression unless you have the nuts or drawing to the nuts. Tags, respect turn river aggression. Respect their 3 bets. But float to pick up EV because they over c-bet. Maniacs, you don't out aggro them. You increase your 3-betting linear preflop strategy. You get the nuts, you trap to them. You check to them. They'll fire away. And then widen your calling range. Based off of the size of the bet, say they bet half pot on river, how much equity do you need to call? What percentage of your range? Say they bet half pot bet, you need 25% equity. Are you good 25% with top pair, weak kicker? And that's probably, you probably are. Are you, if you need 25% call, are you good with middle pair even? Probably against someone that's betting any 2 cards. Are you good more than 25% of the time? And then you just got to start making big calls, big hero calls. And then the last trick is don't get tilted. They will run out. They'll get run outs on you. Ooh, boy, do they hurt. Four minutes. We're up a buy-in on this board. We're about even on that board. And we're up $5 on the other board, on the WSOP. One of the hands I won was a lucky one. You guys didn't see it. We got pocket 4s. This is against, our arch nemesis. I don't know her name, but Zena. All right. Look at this little min click. We are going to absolutely call this. Because of implied odds, we miss everything. So we're just going to fold. Oh, also, at these stakes, river honesty. Just believe them. And believe them if they check the river and you're in position. That's when you do fire off a bet. And you don't have to, that's where you have to just think about your break-even percentage. Essentially, 2 minutos. It's 5 Minuten. Give me queens. Give me something to play. I want to make a good move against someone. But sometimes there's no specific good move to be made in a short period of time. It's always... Oh, come on, give me hearts. Queen? Alright. 9-7 offsuit is something I would previously have raised and then gotten beat up by maybe a good player with a 3-bet and I wouldn't be able to do anything. See, there's a raise and 3-bet. They're good players. A light 4-bet here is probably a good idea. We got a shove here. Respect aggression at these stakes, whatever. Easy flush draw or jack 10. But if he is doing that with kings, also because he was an SPR of 1-to-1, you could do that with kings, get anything. Ace 5 suited in the big blind. Jack 8, Jack 8 suited in the low jack, or in the cutoff. All right. Okay, so against a, we can call this or we can raise this. Let's just call this for now. Big blind versus cutoff, we would defend 25%. Ace 5 is one of them. You could raise or fold or call. Flop is jack 6-6. This guy is c-betting small with anything. I think he's going to try and bluff on this one too. He's a solid player. Yeah, look at this. There, that was a good play. He's a solid player. Knows how to fire 2 streets. Gave up, and I had ace high. Because he was c-betting at a too high a frequency. And then his half pot bet size on the turn was kind of weak. There, that will be that. Every time we go through the blinds now, we'll call it after we go through the blinds. Could have stolen that pot, but I think when you steal too much, they start to get suspicious, and then suddenly you get 5 calls. Then you gotta retreat back to only value bets, and then you get 5 calls, and now the pot's big, and you have a good hand. This you want. Okay. King, king. Nope. All right, WSOP, we're done. Got ace 4 on the button of the... What? What's going on here? That's the player's profile. This one, we will raise it. And this one, we will also raise it. Whee! Ace 4. Is everyone getting... Alright, that's a good board for us. So this one is going to be little baby donk. I don't know who this player is, but we have draws. We stole that one. This stupid baby donk. I mean, his option is to raise here. I'm pot committed. He's pot committed. I hope he has queen 10. Check it to me. Check it with queen 10. I'm going to check this back, I think. Queen 10. Oh, queen 9. What up? All right. All right, we're going to blast this one with 2 pair. Donk, I should have raised him at the start. Come on, aces. Just someone... I don't want you. Smaller stacks to grip it and rip it. All right, let's see if King Bob does something silly. So we called in position. Oh, God, I hate this. Deep stack is going to raise it. All right, let's just put them all in. Oh, fuck, we lose. Damn it. That was a terrible way to end. And that's it. Huge stack lost. Oh. Bomb pot exploit should have been to fold against a deep stack. Ugh. How much was that? That was 30 bucks. That's our whole profit. Whole profit gone. Don't do that in a bomb pot. Just get out of there. All right. Until next time.